this is Wendy from Vintage Sweetheart Designs, and my husband Bob, my sidekick, is behind the camera. So anything that goes wrong, it's all his fault. So today we want to talk about the new product that we're carrying at Lazy Dog Vintage. It's called Fusion Mineral Paint Gel Stain and Top Coat. So there were a lot of questions about this, and we decided to do a quick video to give you a little bit of a heads up on how it works and how great it really is. Because we just got it about a week ago, and we just kind of were figuring out the kinks. So that's what we're going to do today. We decided to do this hutch top. The Fusion Gel Stain comes in 4 colors: Double Espresso, Greystone, Patina, and Ebony. Double Espresso is the one that has the highest amount of pigment. Although other gel stains go on very dark, these do not. They're kind of like sheer. So the more coats you put on, the darker it'll get. Double Espresso is the darkest one with the most pigment. Black has a little bit of pigment. You're going to see that as you work with them. It's not like a solid black color, it's like a sheer color. Also, there is Greystone, which is a nice gray color, but again, sheer color. And Patina, which is it's like a natural, it's like a clear color. But all of them will yellow because they are oil-based products. So these are really good for this is really good for surfaces that are scratched or things that were painted, something that you don't want to take the stain off of. You just kind of want to quickly go over it. But once you do, it is hard as rock. It is the best top coat that Fusion has for like tabletops, the most durable. Stain and finishing oil that Fusion has is also extremely durable, but this is supposed to be the best and the most durable. So we just wanted to give you a quick little video on how it works. That way anybody that has questions, maybe that will help you out, so you're not so lost in it. But if anyone does have questions, we're not really sure if we could see those right now, so we will go back after the live video and answer any of them if someone is asking them. So let's get started. So this is what I usually use. I'm going to use gloves today because I just don't want stain on me, and I'm a pretty messy painter. Other people can paint with nice clothes on. That's just not me. So I'm going to get these are non-latex gloves. I'm going to get a microfiber roller. This is really important. This works the best for me. I'll also use a StyleMaster 1 flat brush. So I'll show you how that works, and then just like a paper plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open the can. When you first get it, there'll be clips on here, and that's just for shipping so it doesn't spill all over. So we're just opening the can. And the consistency of this is very thick, and I'll show you in a second. Just put my gloves on. I'm going to try not to spill anything because I'm really bad with spills and things like that. So it's really important that you do not shake this. You don't want to introduce bubbles to the product because that will sit in your top coat and make it a little harder. So here's the consistency of, can you get that? Can you see it? Can you see that, Bob?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So we're gonna mix it some more. That's the key to this. But we're gonna do it slow. We're not gonna do it like we're beating eggs. So this will work on raw wood, but it's best not on raw wood, because for the raw wood you kind of want the stain and finishing oil, because it'll just give a nicer look. You want the stain to get into the grain and give you that nice look. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to slowly pour an amount on this paper plate. Just going to put this to the side. I'm going to move this to the floor. Well, first I'll show you what I'm going to roll my roller in it. Microfiber roller is the key here. And a StyleMaster 1 brush, a synthetic brush, 100% synthetic brush for the 2-second process in this. It just seems to work the best for me, so that's what I would recommend to everybody. So I'm gonna move this, and then I'm gonna have Bob, if you wanna come over and get close to the, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll the product on. You'll see how dark this is. We're gonna show you an after product, because this takes about 4 hours to dry. It'll be tacky. We're gonna do it nice and slow. You see how like it's getting like ridges, and it'll give you the impression of the roller. We don't want to keep that, so I'll show you what we do here. And this goes for the Fusion paint too. This could work for the paint. We call it a laying off process. And another tip I'm going to give you is if you have dogs or you have long hair, you want to make sure that you tie your hair up. I'm sure I'll find a hair in this later, because your hair will get caught in here and it will look not great. Okay, so I'm doing that nice and slow. Now, I'm just going to grab my brush. And what I'm trying to do is get all the air bubbles out and give it a nice, smooth finish. So I'm only putting one coat on this because I like the way that it looks, but you can do multiple. You just have to wait for that initial coat to dry, and then you can add coats to it. I may go back, but see how all of the bubbles, but then it looks like I might have got a hair there. That's bad. So we're gonna try that again. Now, yeah, you don't have to work super quick with this, but you don't have hours, because it kind of starts drying fairly quick. And it's thick, so do not touch it once you apply it. You know, if you're checking to see if it's tacky, try to keep your fingers off of it, because you will wreck it. I've done it, that's why I'm saying that. Okay, so I'm gonna try this again. I'm not putting any pressure down on the brush. I'm just kind of gliding it across. I've seen people do this with the paint so that you don't get any brush strokes. The key is the synthetic brush. All synthetic brush, 100% synthetic. Because if you use natural, you're going to get brush-like lines in it. Some people use a foam roller. I have not, or I'm sorry, a foam applicator brush. I have not tried that. From what I understand, you have to use a really high quality one, not a cheap one. So the more practice I get with that, I can try it. Because right on the can it says no foam brushes, but I've heard that people have, but again, it's got to be like a super strong, more of an expensive one. So ideally I would do this all in one application so they don't have like streaks in between, but I'm trying to do this for a video. And I'm trying not to get my sweatshirt gross. Is there any questions, Bob? See anybody writing in with questions? Anybody watching?
No, it's just saying a couple people are watching.
Okay, great. And I can also do the sides with the roller too, but I'm just going to, looks like I got another hair there. See how that is? Hair. It's okay because it's all still wet. And thanks to our dogs for the hairs. I appreciate it. We don't just eat it, we paint with it here. Okay, so now we're gonna do it all at once, and that hopefully will be better. And I'm gonna try to have my husband pull my sleeve up, because it's the one thing I own that does not have, oh wait, I missed a spot here, that does not have paint on it. Or stain. Okay. we go. This tabletop wasn't, or this hutch top wasn't.
Oh, it says the video is sideways.
This hutch top doesn't. Sorry if it's sideways, guys. This hutch top doesn't. Didn't have a lot of scratches in it, so I can't really show you that it was banged up because I don't have a really banged up piece right now. Which is odd because we really get some rough pieces. Now, when this dries, it will be like a satin. They say satin finish, but to me it seems more like a matte finish. But maybe it is a little satin. So I have a little bit of a issue here. So I'm just gonna go back over it again. No problem, because again, this is still really wet and it will be for quite a while. But I wouldn't do it like a half hour after. You know, I would do it in your first, if you make any mistakes, do it right away. I think I'm gonna do this part too. Okay. Try not to get my hair in here. Again, no pressure on your brush. If you make any mistakes and you don't like it and it is still wet, you can actually just dump mineral spirits on, clean it off with a rag, and start over. So it's not a big deal. And you get a quart size, so it's a big can. And I've done several pieces so far. I'm going to show you a piece when we're finished here. Of the after. And this is, I've only worked with the double espresso so far, so that's the can I have open, so that's what we're doing. So now I'm gonna go to the sides of and I'm just doing it with a microfiber roller. It's just what worked best for me so far. If I find out another way that works even better, I will share that with you. But so far, this is what I've got a little nick there. This is what I've discovered, and I played around with it for a while. So, see how it's leaving? So you couldn't just brush it on like that or roll it on without an issue, because it would give you a texture. We don't want that. We want it nice and smooth. So that's why we're going back over it with the brush. Again, same technique you could use when applying Fusion Mineral Paint to a tabletop. You know, if you have an issue with brush strokes, you're just gonna do light coats. And after you coat it, you're gonna use this technique called laying off with a brush. Okay. Okay, so then again, I'm just gonna go over real light with my brush, no pressure. Trying not to get my hair in the wet stuff. Any questions, Bob?
No questions.
He can't tell. We don't know how to do live videos.
We
This
really
is all
don't know
new
what we're
to
doing.
us. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And that will dry in about 4 hours. If you're not happy with the color, you could add another coat, but I seem to like it without. So there's a couple little things here, but again, what you want to make sure that you don't do is any kind of sanding in your garage or wherever it's at. This has a little bit of an odor to it, so you want to make sure there's a window open. We're in a big garage. I don't smell anything. maybe a hint of something, but you don't want to be in a small area doing this because it kind of smells. And most of the other Fusion products have no smell, no VOCs, but this is different. So that's that. And if there's any questions, we'll get back to you later. But let me just also show you, Bob, watch where you're walking. We're gonna, if you get motion sickness, sorry. We're gonna show you a table that we did. Watch that. So here's the bottom. This is the before. It was a really cool piece, we thought. This is an antique table that we picked up, but the colors, you know, like outdated. So we decided that something darker. I'm not sure what I'll paint the top yet, or the bottom, but and the base. But we didn't do this part. We just did the top. So this is one coat of double espresso, and like I said, it says satin finish, but to me it looks more matte. So this will resist water stains, marks. It won't scratch. So, you know, after, it cures in about 5 days, 5 to 7 days, depending on humidity, weather, things like that. And then you can use it. But also you could, if you don't like it, you could paint over it with paint if you just decide that you don't like it. So that's that. And it was good seeing you, good talking with you. And if you have any questions, just let us know. Till next time, see you later.